Welcome to this edition of Getting to Know You. For today's episode, we'll be speaking with Murat Yavuz, VP of Corporate Strategy here at Intelsat. Murat, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First question for you. What do you enjoy most about working here at Intelsat?
Well, this is going to be a cliche, but what I really love about my job is to constantly learn new things and develop myself, both professionally and personally. I get exposed to all the new industry trends, market trends, get to follow competitive developments, and so this is constantly challenging, and being able to influence the decisions being made and making an impact at the company and in the industry is really satisfying and rewarding for me. I get to work with different functions, collaborate with different teams, and it's a continuous learning process, never-ending learning process for me.
Okay.
I really enjoy this aspect.
Wonderful. And what did you want to be when you were a kid?
That's a good question. I always had an interest in rocks, soil, and how the planet Earth evolved over time, how the landforms, the mountains have been formed. So I had interest in geology, mining, civil engineering, building things. So I studied mining and civil engineering, and actually my first job after undergrad was in Boston as a geotechnical engineer, civil engineer. And then I got exposure to the business side of engineering, and then got my MBA. And my first job out of business school was with United Technologies. So I got into the aerospace. There are actually a lot of similarities between what I studied in civil engineering and aerospace, and then space and telecommunications from a business perspective.
Very exciting, interesting.
Yeah.
So do you have any interesting hobbies outside of work?
I do. So I have the biggest and most important hobbies for me are my daughters, my family. So I love spending time with them. I have a 16-year-old and 14-year-old daughter. But besides work and family and my daughters, I love riding bikes, and I have a gravel bike, and I really enjoy it. It's I get to set goals. It's meditation for me when I go out and cycle, sometimes for hours, and I get to set a new goal, kind of challenge myself, see places that I can't otherwise see. So I really enjoy biking. And another hobby for me is I'm an achievement-oriented person, and I have silly lists, bucket lists, and one of them is to see 100 most famous paintings in the world. And I've seen 83 of these 100 paintings. I've seen hundreds, thousands of paintings, and I out of this list, I go to a new museum, gallery with a goal, purpose, and get to see that painting. And over time, it's been more than 15 years now. Each painting has a story, but I also have a story of myself with that painting or a museum. So it's been, basically collecting memories over time.
What would you say is your favorite painting you've seen so far?
Oh, that's a great question, and I get that question a lot. A lot of special paintings. I'll give you a few examples. So one of them is Da Vinci's self-portrait. It's actually stored in a museum in Turin, and since fading, it's not displayed regularly, but it came out to Rome to a museum around 2015. So after I heard this, I flew to Rome and got to see this painting, and I sat in front of this for maybe 45 minutes just staring at this painting. And 7 billion people on Earth maybe will not be able to see this painting again because it's stored in a lock. Another one, personal to me, in Vienna, Gustav Klimt's The Kiss. And the personal experience, I went there with my family, and right in front of that painting, my 4-year-old at the time daughter came to me and gave me a kiss in front of that painting. So that was also very special. So, like I said, each painting is a story, and with that painting that I saw, I developed my own story.
Well, that's very interesting. Very cool.
Thank you.
A final question for you. If you could
Sure.
live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Luxembourg.
Okay.
So That's a joke, but so I love to travel, and you know, I've been to many cities, many countries around the world. And if you do a list of like most beautiful cities in the planet, Washington D.C. may not come up in top 10, top 20 in the world, or even in the U.S. But for me, if I did it as an engineer, and then if I did like a weighted average score, the DMV area, Washington D.C. comes up top. I love that, you know, there are a lot of free museums and arts. It is a biker's paradise, you know, pretty flat, a lot of bike paths, really good school system, really good, you know, public transportation system, really good food, diverse. It has 4 seasons. You can fly to pretty much anywhere in the world out of DC. It is relatively close because of being in the East Coast to the, you know, to Europe and other places. So it's, you know, if I did this like weighted average, I would like living in this city.
Well, wonderful. Murat, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thanks to all of you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.